Man, what's going on, y'all, man? As y'all know, we talk about hoops. We also talk about football, man. Today, we talking about basketball. And it's a heck of a game between Kentucky and Duke, man. Absolute cinema, man. Really enjoyed watching this one. Duke obviously had the lead at halftime. They had like a 9-point lead. Was looking pretty good, man. Had scored 11 to 0 based off of turnovers. In the first half, man, was converting a lot of the chances that Kentucky was messing up. But the second half, Kentucky came out a different opponent. And you gotta give them credit, man. This is a completely reshaped roster, right? Uwe, you know what I'm saying, as a guy to have Lamont Butler. They really, brought in some real good, competent pieces in the Mark Stoop era. And they look good, or Mark Pope era, you know what I'm saying, excuse me. And they look good. Like, you know what I'm saying? This was a wire-to-wire game, and hey, for a Tuesday night, you don't get much better than these. Over 70 plus scouts in attendance. High end recruits was in attendance. Rob Palenka was there, man. It was packed out gym at State Farm Arena here in Atlanta. Man, it was a lot of fun to watch this game, man. I want to break a couple things down, get my honest assessment. Now, I tell y'all what, man, this kid right here, man, he is special. Honestly, rate his performance, I give him a B plus. I would give him a higher grade than that, but the 2 turnovers late, man, you simply cannot have that. You know what I'm saying? But the kid is young, y'all. Like, he only 17. But what I like the most is that he can impact the game in other ways than just his scoring. He rebounds the basketball. He defends 1 through 5, right? He can be a multiple switch positional defender. You know what I'm saying? He can repass in lanes. He can set up and play make for his teammates. This kid has pretty much darn near the full tool package at his disposal. I mean, very, very special. I see why he starts. And obviously, Duke has 3 freshmen that start for them in a program. Con Canupa, who didn't have his best shooting tonight. And also number 9. We'll talk a little bit more about him as well, man. But, I mean, complete full skill set. Like I said, those turnovers he'll clean up. You'd rather have that stuff happen now than later on in the season where he can go ahead and correct it. But for most of the night, B plus effort, I thought, and he continued to show why he's probably one of the best freshmen in the country. Now, obviously, like I said, he does get the blame for those last 2 turnovers late, but I thought John Shire could have schemed it up just a little bit better. But another place where Duke kind of struggled in this one was the 3-point field goal percentage, 4 for 23 compared to 10-25 for Kentucky. They shot 40% compared to 17.4%. That's not going to get it done. They got to get better shooting out there. Now, this is a very talented Duke team, right, filled with guys that can fill it up. Tyrese Proctor, talked about Canupa. You know what I'm saying? They got a bunch of guys that can fill it up, but they got to shoot better from 3-point range, in my humble opinion, to knock off, pretty good opponents like Kentucky. But yes, I just didn't want to butcher the man's name. But Mulak is from South Sudan, 5 for 5, 10 points. The thing that worries me a little bit with him is his perimeter defense. A lot of people are he's gonna have to be more disciplined when it comes to the post and his post defense. Like, they're gonna get him out there in the wing to see if he can defend perimeterly, and then if they can blow past him with dribble blow bys and things like that, it makes it tough, especially when he gets up on his feet and he jumps up in the air. Teams are gonna draw contact and things like that. So that's going to be interesting to watch his development as a defender continually. Now, he already looks like a pretty good rim protector, but he got to make sure he can really guard perimeterly as well. That's going to be something to kind of watch as his career continues to go on. Now, Canupa in this one, like I said, did not have a great shooting night. 1 from 8 from 3, 5 for 20. He's been really magical in the first couple of games so far for Duke. Had his worst shooting performance. I definitely expect him to shoot it way better. Tyrese Proctor, 4-9, 12 points. I want to see him get more involved. I think that last possession, again, last couple of possessions, you got to have somebody create for Cooper Flagg. Not saying that he can't create his own shot. He definitely can. But an easy shot at the basket, right? Have a dribble drive where Canupa or Proctor is going to the rim and the defense is collapsing and you hitting Cooper Flagg where he can make a move with the basketball or even potentially catch and shoot. He's going to have to scheme that up better, head coach John Shire, for this Duke team going late. But it's a learning experience to say the least. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what they got. Mainly they starters for the most part for Duke. Not too much from the bench, as you can see in this game, from Gillis or James. James had it going, but ended up having a kind of a shoulder injury and missed a little bit of the second half. Now, for Kentucky, I tell you what, man, I was really impressed with Carr, man, what he was able to do in the paint, man, hitting those clutch buckets. You know what I'm saying? And 1 bucket he had against Malak, I thought was really good for him. 17 points in this game, 5 for 8, 2 for 3 from 3. I thought he played a really magnificent performance. I like Uwe as well. His driving ability can be a knockdown shooter, can create offense not only for himself but for others. I thought he had a pretty good game, finished with 15, second lead scorer on the team in this one. You know what I'm saying? And I also like Lamont Butler. What he can bring on the defensive side of the ball is very underrated. Dropped 9 points in this one, had 4 assists and 3 boards, but not even look at the box score. Just his defensive tenacity is something that you need for the Kentucky team. And I think you're going to see him as the season progresses guard more elite players offensively and probably be tasked with guarding the best perimeter player against opposing teams. So I thought he had a magnificent performance as well in this one. And you got to give a shout out, like I said, to their coach. They shot 40% from 3. That's how you do it. And this team never gave up, even though they was down 9. You know what I'm saying? They continue to fight. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you want to see if you're a Kentucky coach. So yeah, man, it's a great start to the Mark Pope era. Still very early, man, but to go 3-0, likely going to go up in the AP poll when it comes out next week for the Wildcats, man. And this is what you want to see from your program. Going up against an elite opponent, a team that's likely going to be there when it's said and done, because I still think Duke is an elite team, but you'd rather have your loss early, and you was able to win that game and defeat them. It says a lot about what they're building there, man. And a lot of it was from the transfer portal. Everybody remember, they left and went off to either Arkansas or transferred out. So for you to come in this year, start off 3-0, have this type of resume building win on your schedule already, I mean, that does a lot for your confidence, does a lot for your team going forward, and you have a lot of things you can build on and correct going forward, man. So absolute cinema game, great win for Kentucky. Duke, I think will be just fine. They're gonna learn from this, get better and better, man. But I want to get my full reaction. I thought a great game between 2 really good opponents who should be there when it's said and done, barring any upsets in the NCAA tournament, man. But great win, great game, I thought. State Farm's Classic, great game for a Tuesday night, man. Don't get much better than that. 2 really good blue blood programs, man, going at it.